Afternoon, friends. So today I thought, hey, one more day, one more video. What the heck? Yesterday, I talked about bullshit, BS, and how, for me personally, I was not able to continue down that road. I couldn't pull at that thread in my life anymore. So, brutal honesty in the accountability and the accountability partners that I've kept has been paramount. Today, I thought I would talk about truth. So, you can bear with me a little bit here. I'm going to fish out Mr. Frankfurt's book about truth and kind of touch on that a little bit. There's one part in particular that I thought would be really interesting to look at because in today's day and age, of the the whataboutists and the whataboutisms, people seem to just avoid the idea that there's truth, there's fact, there's indisputable law in our universe that we can't deny. If you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about there. I brought in the idea of gravity because you jump out of a plane or off a building, gravity is an absolute that we can't deny. Mr. Frankfurt kind of addresses the whataboutists and the whataboutisms that you'll see all over entertainment channels that call themselves news and their anchors. And he kind of addresses these whataboutists and whataboutisms in this small little blurb I'll read to you. Mr. Frankfurt writes, in any case, even those who profess to deny the validity or the objective reality of the true-false distinction continue to maintain without apparent embarrassment that this denial is a position that they do truly endorse. The statement that they reject the distinction between true and false is, they insist, an unqualifiedly true statement about their beliefs, not a false one. This prima facie incoherence in the articulation of their doctrine makes it uncertain precisely how to construe what it is that they propose to deny. It is also enough to make us wonder just how seriously we need to take their claim that there is no objectively meaningful or worthwhile distinction to be made between what is true and what is false. The whataboutists, right? You try and talk to them about a specific idea, and they avoid that idea to bring up a completely different topic. And that happens. We can see it pretty clearly just in the Twitterverse recently, where someone brings up ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, and someone else, rather than address the validity of that idea, would say, well, if these medications are bad for you, what about, how bad man-made opiates are? Rather than address the idea, let's change the topic and shift over here. And it happens daily, all over social media, all over entertainment sources that want to call themselves news. Just as an example, I think it's worthwhile defining that idea. That noted, what truth has done for me, what truth has meant for me, is undeniable in my lifetime. I talked briefly yesterday about being a bullshitter, being a liar, constantly trying to spin the reality of who I was against some manufactured persona, and was called out for that in no short order. That embarrassment in that moment really flipped me and I moved forward wanting to be truthful, but staying consistent to my personality, I blew that up and became almost an embarrassment on the other end of the scale with this brutal, in-your-face honesty. And I would embarrass the people in my close circle by just blurting out things that really had no position in a conversation other than shock value. And this became very apparent in the earliest days of my marriage with Sarah, when I learned about discretion. The brutal honesty that I've enjoyed in so far as my accountability and my accountability partners are concerned has been a daily walk to bring to light any and everything that I can to truly discover the best version of myself. And that power, that strength that comes from only ever having to tell the truth once is undeniable. There's never a need to go back on that. And that speaks to teachability. It speaks to my daily desire to learn and to be teachable. And that goes right back to video 1 on day 1, January 15th, when I talk about my desire to be teachable, my desire to explore those truths, unafraid, willing always to face them head on. I've often compared living sober and being sober to stepping into the ring in like a UFC fight. No padding. Lining up on a football field, the line of scrimmage, no padding. Playing a hockey game with no padding. People in our position take on life, on life's terms, toe to toe, every day. And there's no padding, there's no filters, there's nothing to deaden that pain, there's nothing to soften those blows as they come in. We take that on every day. Not to lessen that for other people, but to those people that don't struggle with addiction, that don't struggle with substance abuse, the way that plays out for people in my position, there's other options for them to get through their day, to de-stress, to take on life on life's terms. A glass of wine with a meal, I wish I could do that. I know today I cannot. At a time when cannabis has even become legal in Canada, federally, across the board. Smoking a joint, blazing up a bowl in your water pipe. I mean, I wish I had that option. I don't. I can't play with these things. I just can't. So for me, the day-to-day grind, I have to find those outlets in other places, and I have to take on those truths blindly, head on. So what I've found and what I've learned is that the power that I gain and the internal strength that I feel from taking these things on daily, staring at these truths head on about myself daily, it's hard to describe. I feel a sense of personal achievement and personal growth that I fear few people really enjoy. And that's obviously a pretty bold statement to make, but it's factual in that I'm going to say it bluntly, but nobody has anything on me. Nobody can lord anything over my head. There's no one in my lifetime that could throw up a flashcard and go, ha ha, gotcha. That just doesn't exist for me. So I have that in my pocket over any social situation, any interaction with any person that I can connect with on a day-to-day basis. I've got that in my back pocket. You got nothing on me. I take these things on head on, face to face, every day. There's a strength in that I encourage anybody in my position as a recovered alcoholic, somebody new in recovery, somebody exploring a sober life. I encourage you to explore that idea. If you connect it with yesterday's discussion or yesterday's video on bullshit, to explore these truths in this fashion, it's not an easy thing to do by any stretch of the imagination, but the reward is immeasurable. So I'm going to hit the stop button. This one's a quick one today, and I just wanted to touch on that. Don't know if it makes any sense, really. I'll watch it back, and hopefully that's at the very least cohesive. Again, reach out, connect, leave a comment. Would love to talk to you, would love to get some questions, would love to get better at doing this. So again, man, I'm going to hit the stop button, and I'm going to say thank you guys if you made it this far. I really appreciate you, man. Take care, stay safe out there. Bye.